everybody. My name is Comaine Nichols. If you're still unfamiliar with what I do, I am the host of Citizen TV, and I have a plethora of content where I generally aim to help people go in and go up, and take that internal path, and be live a more freeing lifestyle based on the terms that they dictate and not the ones that society dictates. To sum it all up, but today I got a special subject because it's one that I endured personally, it's one that I overcame personally, and it's one that played a part and a crucial role into my internal growth myself in this geared towards our brothers and sisters who's incarcerated, helping them achieve their freedom, and not by simply putting together a proposal or argument in front of the parole panel, but to look inward and start to develop a plan that they can see themselves achieving financially, that they can adhere to, and that they can commit to now, and then follow upon their release. And this here is what will instill, or this is what will guarantee their success upon release. This is what frees them. And it's not like so far as to plan, for lack of better words, but it's the internal change that will free them. And that's what this book is about. That's what I'm selling. I'm selling a process, not a physical one, but an internal one. I'm selling a process that our brothers and sisters can grab hold to and give them direction on how they can start constructing and building for their future. I have financial tips in here based on how they can take their minimum wage or take a letter from a potential employer and use that wage to build their financial freedom, or construct their financial foundation for when they come home. And what that does is it takes their plans from possibility and potential to an actuality, because they can see the actual number that they can actually make when they're released. And that's empowering. That's extremely empowering when it comes to a person who is incarcerated, and it's asking themselves what they're going to do upon release. But it's also challenging because there's very few individuals who is incarcerated really asking themselves that question. And not only that, but really taking the initiative to go in and go beyond what it normally take for them to achieve these kind of things. But not to get too off track, and to bring our focus back into the subject at hand, I want to talk about one of the most common denial codes used by the parole panel, and that's making the claim that your loved one is a continued threat to public safety. And it's a common denial code by the parole panel because it's almost like the last excuse they got to deny an inmate, in my opinion. But it's easily combated against. And it's one of the many tips I provide in my novel, and not only the novel, but I speak about in my content that's available on my page. But the strongest weapon to argue against that denial code is a petition. It's simple, a well-constructed petition in which we can look at the factors of, let me go to page 89 in my novel for you guys real quick, and I can show you. Okay, and a well-constructed petition will contain these three factors. A petition should contain a petition summary, basically saying or summarizing who you are, basically describing to the ones you petitioned to what you were convicted for, and explaining them why you're petitioning for their support in your endeavor now. Number two is the background, basically what you were convicted for, how much time you were given for this conviction, how much time you have done on your conviction. And also the highlighting factor is an accomplishment to demonstrate the polarity for what you were convicted for. For example, it can highlight a feat that you have accomplished since you've been incarcerated, to demonstrate to the ones you petitioned it to that your change is true, and your efforts are genuine, that you have indeed been making efforts towards being the person you claim to be. And what you'll also notice is this process is a lot easier when it's genuine. That's why I encourage my brothers to really look inside, really go in, and to really see themselves doing something different. Really make that internal change to become something different so you can really stay out. Third thing that should be listed in the petition is the action that's being called for. It's basically the petitioners stating why they're petitioning, to whom they're petitioning to. Or in other words, it's the ones who signed the petition explaining to the parole board why you are not a threat to public society. And also, what should be highlighted within the petition is to be sure to highlight that you have petitioned individuals who are in the neighboring zip codes or within the same zip code as the address as your loved one will be paroled to show that this is indeed the individuals he will be immediately surrounded with upon his or her release. It's an extremely strong tool and method to counter that argument or counter that denial code that's given by the parole board so frequently. And it's tips like that that's loaded inside this book. I have a plethora of information and useful ideas that one could grasp on to and put their own twist to and instill it to the presentation, because this is not a formula. I'm not selling a method. I'm selling ideas. I'm selling inspiration. I'm selling motivation. With this book and with this content, I'm trying to inspire those to take that internal path and manifest results into their life. It's exactly what I did. Because once again, I had 15 years as a first time on medium custody when I was voted on for parole for assault on an officer case, and I still made my first parole with no parole lawyer. The only thing I had was my mother and my resources and my creativity, and I did it. Let that inspire you. Let that be a demonstration of what can actually be done when you apply your will with your intention and you marry your results. Nothing can stop you. And with that being said, I hope the information I just shared can help you in your journey and your task in obtaining parole. If not, feel free to comment or reach out. I will communicate back, and I will share the knowledge I have pertaining to the subject in any subject for that matter, because it's all love and it's all genuine, and it's one of my passions. And I'm genuine about lending my assistance to others. I love y'all. Keep ascending.